Dylan has now given an interview to fellow leftist Chelsea Handler. And Deb, do we have that third thought that we were looking for? Okay. And they got into the discussion of, quote, trans children, which is not a thing, but the left is making it a thing. And here's a little bit of that.
Yeah, I think one of the most offensive things to hear is people who are talking about, trans people saying, oh, it's trendy. It's trendy. Are we supposed to let children change their sex before they're ready? Because what if they change their mind back? And it's such a miseducation and an unknowing. Like I had a friend say to me, oh, I know there are 8-year-old kids that are getting transgender surgery without their parents. And I'm like, that's simply not true.
No.
First of all, there is no 8-year-old that can go to the fucking doctor and become
drive themselves there.
You can't do that at 8. It's just so dumb.
But
so
it's insane that notion of like trendiness, because transness has existed like since the beginning of time, and truly like in certain cultures, the two spirits or transness was actually like seen as almost the most holy or the most reverent or the most respected.
Okay. So we're not transing children. There's no inappropriate surgeries being done on young people. And we're definitely not, I guess, chemicalizing a temporary confusion when it comes to gender with our minors. Bullshit. You don't have to go to the most extreme. Oh, we're not doing, double mastectomies on 8-year-olds. That no one's claiming that, but we are doing it on There was a woman who just gave testimony this week in Louisiana who has been on this show, Chloe, who talked about how they took off both of her breasts at age 14. 14. She was only autistic. She wasn't actually gender dysphoric. And now she's mad. So you can make the straw man of the 8-year-old all you want. We are cutting off the body parts of young children here in our country. And we're not going to play the video now because we don't have enough time. But what do you make of it?
Well, I think Dylan Mulvaney just, or any time he does an appearance, it's just like, how many times can I take the piss out of what it means to be a woman in 30 minutes? For me personally, I was a tomboy growing up. So basically loved football, loved wrestlers, wouldn't wear dresses. And you know what? I'm probably one of the most girly girls you'll ever meet now because I was allowed to be a kid. I was allowed to explore myself without having, things shoved down my throats. And whenever I speak to people about the trans thing, I say, well, all right, what is a woman to you? Because to me personally, a woman isn't a way somebody acts. There's no such thing as acting like a woman, or there's no such thing as looking like a woman, because if a woman wants to wear blue, they're still a woman. So there is no such thing as being able to turn from a man into a woman, because unless you think being a woman is just a personality or a way you look, which is completely unprogressive and stupid in my eyes, then you can't do that, because being a woman isn't being redefined to those things. So unless you think that is what a woman is, then you are yourself a little bit of a bigot, to be quite honest. There's no such thing as being able to change.
Kelly J. Keane, she's British. That's where I'm getting all my merch that I've been wearing lately, her website. She says a woman is an adult human female. It's very simple and easy to remember. And she's been fighting over there to stop, among other things, the medicalization of these minors. And there's been a little bit of a breakthrough in the UK just this week where they've decided to stop doing that for minors. They've decided to stop the cross-gender hormones and the puberty blockers and the surgeries. Thank God. It's just like on COVID. You guys saw reason over there before we did. You lost your minds. We lost our minds. You saw reason first. We never really did. And now, we're way behind you in realizing this is child abuse, Leilani.
It's absolutely child abuse. And I have to point out that actually just before Easter, unfortunately, we haven't come that far, because just before Easter, my friend has a 3-year-old daughter, and she got an email from the school saying that when they come back after Easter, they cannot wear the little gingham summer dresses because they want the uniform to be more gender neutral. So this is actually going on, and they are trying to influence kids at an early age. So I don't care what Dylan Mulvaney, the caricature of a bimbo female, tries to say. They are trying to influence children, and there is social contagion. If you look at how children are around the democratic states. It's more them that are becoming, confused in their gender identity. And I just saw that Gays Against Groomers posted another article today where they said that there's 3 huge universities in the USA that are saying that your child could be transgender if they pick up if a little girl picks up a boy's toy or vice versa. Now, I, like Sophie, was also such a tomboy growing up. I didn't want to play female sports. I actually got my school to start a rugby team for girls when I was 15 years old. This went on till I was probably 17 or 18. And I have no doubt that right now, if they saw me the way I was, the way I behaved, the way I dressed, everything, they would try and tell me that I wanted to transition. And if they took that movie, Billy Elliot, with the little boy that wanted to be a ballerina or a ballet dancer, they would actually say in 2023, I want, Billy Elliot, let's transition him to Sophie, the ballerina. That's what would happen. Right. It wouldn't be Billy being able to be the little ballet dancer boy. He would have to transition.
The attempt, but in that conversation by Dylan, to be like, oh, it's like so normal, like being being non-cisgender to being trans or being what, it's just so normal. Like I'm sorry, but it's not normal. And if you need only check the internet or TikTok daily for some of these videos to see there is an unusually high percentage of very disturbed people claiming that they are in the trans community. And the trans community doesn't kick them out. The trans community doesn't say they don't speak for us. The trans community embraces them as like, yeah, like you go, girl. Experts say that China is hoarding a massive amount of food. They will soon have over 2/3 of the globe's corn reserves, over half of its rice, and over half of its wheat. But when asked about it, China misleads. One China expert says that they, of course, would never admit to something like that. Well, what does China know that we don't? When it comes to global food shortages, China is the canary in the coal mine. You see, China's the world's #1 food importer. They rely on the rest of the world to keep their people fed. So they cannot afford to mess this up, or there could be riots or civil panic or worse. That's why it's a smart idea to stock up on your own on a kit of the best-selling 4 Patriots survival food. Create your own stockpile of the best-selling 4 Patriots survival food kits. Hand-packed in the USA, the kits are compact and stack easily. They have different delicious breakfasts, lunches, and dinners, and their 5-star reviews on the website rave about the flavor and the taste. Right now, you can get 10% off your first purchase of 4 Patriots survival food by typing in the code MK at checkout. Go to 4patriots.com, use that code MK and get your 10% off your first purchase of 4 Patriots survival food. Again, that's 4patriots.com, use that code MK. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.